What is up, everybody? This is your boy Pac-Man here, and this is just going to be a quick video on the paths forward for Julian Assange. Now, unless you've been living underneath a rock, you know who Julian Assange is, WikiLeaks, the Podesta emails, the Chelsea Manning incident, and all the other stuff that he's leaked. If you go on WikiLeaks, it is amazing internationally how many stories they have, how many leaks that they have of just the general stuff that governments around the world are not supposed to be doing, especially stuff that our country isn't supposed to be doing either. Now, he is currently arrested, being extradited to the United States to face charges. His charges are actually, as of right now, what we know, pretty minor. He'll face about 5 years in prison if convicted. And the exact charge is he's being charged with helping Chelsea Manning secure a username and password to get into the DoD server so they could secure the information about the Afghan and Iraq war that they released. Now, you can think however you want about that. I am not going to weigh in on that because that is personal, how you feel about that particular part of the issue. But what we're talking about right now is what's going forward for him. Now, what he does falls under journalism. He is no longer a hacker like he used to be, but what he does is he still has that hacker network. He gets information from hackers and from leakers, and from there he compiles the information, reviews it, and verifies it for authenticity, and then releases it on his website. Okay, that's journalistic activity right there. Now, the charge that he's being charged with right now is not something that would fall under that, which is why everything is flying right now. Nobody's really up, like, super up in arms. What's most likely going to happen is three scenarios. I'm going to go from the most to least likely. The last one is a tinfoil one, but it's my personal one that I really would love to see happen. First possibility, he gets here, he gets processed. Again, minor crimes as of right now, but most likely what's going to happen is they're going to pile all kinds of other crap on him. And they're going to indict him for all types of other things, and he's either going to be in prison for the rest of his life or just caught up in hearings and court appearances and all that type of stuff, as well as prison. That's the most likely. Second possibility of what's going to happen is he'll get into prison. They'll again pile on a whole bunch of other charges, and he'll have probably the rest of his life to spend in jail. But the Trump administration probably by the end of the first term will give him a pardon. And he'll do that for political reasons, because that'll bring a lot of actually the support from the more of the middle, because he gets more of the support from the right and going further right. I would say if you'd put it on a range of -10 to +10, he appeals, I guess, to people who would be 4 to 8 on the scale if Republican was going right, and then you got Democrats to the left going negative. Now, doing that would really gain him a lot of support, and there's precedent for it too, because not only has he been locked up in that embassy for 7 years, which is kind of like being, in prison, really, but he also actually has precedent from the Obama administration. What they did is, at the end of his administration, he commuted Chelsea Manning's sentence. Now, he partially did that because Chelsea Manning was tortured during the interrogation process, but there is precedent for him commuting that guy's sentence. And because these charges, mainly as of right now, what we know, are linked directly to that, that gives him a precedent to actually do the same thing in Assange's case. Now, the third and final option, again, my personal favorite here, but my hope, I think it's unlikely, but my hope is that he's actually going to end up being the best intelligence asset for corruption that we've ever had. My personal opinion is actually why we wanted him over here so damn bad is we want dirt on our geopolitical foes right now. Especially we want dirt on the Russians and the Chinese. I mean, nobody's talking about the Chinese right now, which is actually really smart. They want to keep the Chinese out of the news, out of, because Russia's the straw man right now, but the Chinese are actually our biggest threat internationally right now. Uh, he probably wants dirt on them. But then also you got to think right now, because of the Podesta emails that were released, Assange had access to a hell of a lot more information. There's probably a lot more information in regards to that whole matter, especially with the whole Seth Rich thing. Um, there's a whole lot of stuff there that he could actually probably provide a lot of information to. So if he actually becomes I guess you would say, an informant for both really our Justice Department and the CIA, uh, I think that may actually, or I think that it's not very likely it's going to happen, but there's a possibility that might happen. And if it does, there actually might be a chance to clean up some of the actual swamp that's in Washington, those people who either are in the upper ends of the party structure system, who manipulate things kind of from, the shadows, exactly how they got, Bernie out of the running, and how they got Ron Paul out of the running on the right. There is a good possibility that you know that's the case. I hope it is, because I'd love to see a lot of these swamp rats just get kicked out of Washington. I'd love to see things get cleaned up. I think bipartisanly anybody would agree with that. So I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching, listening. If you like it, give it a like, give me a subscribe. I'm just starting out, but, if you want to hear about something, constructive criticism, anything like that, just leave a comment down below. I don't really use a lot of social media anymore, thank God, other than YouTube. So, yeah, just leave me leave me a comment. I'll read it, and again, I'm all for constructive criticism. If you think the video sucked, let me know. Let me know what you think. Thank you very much. This is Pac-Man signing out for ya.